the Jets draft Fields instead of Wilson in 2021. How does that change the past few years? So um, it's an interesting one, and obviously it's hard to say. I think Fields has been better than Wilson because Fields could do something as a runner that is very unique. Like he had one of the better running seasons in recent NFL history for a quarterback a couple of years ago. And that was in the 2022 year, I believe. That was the season where he ran for like 1,200 yards, where the Jets aren't doing the Zach Wilson, Mike White injured ping pong situation, and they have Fields. You do wonder if that year they get over the hump and go 9-8 and make the playoffs. And if Fields is the guy who does that, he's going to have some rope to it. They're not going to get Aaron Rodgers. He's probably going to be their quarterback in 2023 and 2024. And then you kind of have to wonder, considering how bad of a coach Saleh was, does LaFleur stay? Who's the offensive coordinator? That's where it gets tough because, like, if the Jets, I would say the first sort of like pivot is they probably, instead of going 7-10, go 9-8 with Fields as their quarterback. They probably make the playoffs and lose in the first round. Fields buys himself a couple of years as the starter. LaFleur comes back as the offensive coordinator. But my guess is by the end of 2024, there's probably enough warts in the overall situation where the Jets are getting ready to move on from Fields and try something else, ironically, after not going to get Rodgers. So a roundabout way, he ended up here anyway, without that sort of intermediary period. We're hoping he can do the sort of Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold thing. And with Wilson, like, I don't think Wilson's ever going to have another meaningful NFL moment. Like he was the third stringer on Denver last year. I think it's shocking and crazy if Miami's really going to make him the primary backup quarterback to Tua with his injury risk, and feels like a final nail in Mike McDaniel's coffin if they're going to be trotting out Zach Wilson when they're like 5-6 in the middle of the year. So I think, for whatever flaws Fields has had, like he will have a long NFL career. And even if this doesn't work out this year, he'll get another opportunity just because he's such a rare athlete. Whereas with Zach, the leadership isn't there. He's just so skittish, and he's a good athlete, but he's nowhere near what Fields can do as a runner. So I think the playoff drought is broken if Fields is the quarterback, but ironically, the Jets are probably in the business of getting a different quarterback this year because I think just being a Saleh's quarterback between 2023 and 2024, I don't know if the Jets with Joe Douglas and him build around it in the right way where he's the 5-10 year quarterback. But what do you think?
What did Mike McDaniel say about Zach Wilson? Like it was an intentional pursuit or something? Something outlandish quote from Mike McDaniel.
For his own good at this point.